And this is the Family Tree. Thank you for signing in with us tonight. We are here every Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. And if you want to find out more about this, and maybe you want to share this with someone, you can also go to my website, which is Dr. Paul, and that's at drpaulherbs with an s.com. Subscribe to the website, and from the website, put your name and your email, and you will get an invitation. So if you came by way of invitation through someone else tonight, welcome through also. I am Dr. Paul, Holistic Health Doctor, and with me, my sidekick, that is Bill 1L Morgan. And Bill, let's get Bill a hand. Hey.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey. All right.
Hey, that's what's up.
And tonight, and this is our last show of the year.
Yes,
how about that?
Buddy.
This
yes,
is
sir.
our last show and get together of the family of 2020. You know what? I think somebody said when it comes to getting rid of years, this is one that everybody's going to be glad is going to be out of here. So
I know that's right.
Yeah. So I want to go to the family today. I just want to really just take some questions today. We can go in, talk about anything y'all want to talk about. This is sort of like the potluck, where we just throw anything out there and kind of go in because there's so much to talk about. And there's so much on my mind right now with what's happening with this, new vaccines going on. Folks now wondering, do I take the shot? Do I not take the shot? Now, all of a sudden, there's something coming up in Britain now. First case is found in Colorado yesterday. More questions are coming on. Can I now take this vaccine? For those who are taking the vaccine, will that also cover for this new thing that's coming on, this new strain? Why is this thing going? It seems like the closer they get to it, the faster it gets away from them. So we want to go into that tonight. I want to start and I want to bring in some more folks. We got more and more folks still coming in. And then I want to go to some questions right off the top. All right. I got Audrey on the line. Audrey?
Yes.
How you doing?
Yes. I'm good. How are you?
You got your hand up first. I see you.
I knew it the last time you didn't get to me. I said I was going to be first.
Audrey, you're looking good, Audrey. I tell you.
Yes, you are, Audrey.
All right.
Looking good over there.
My question is two small questions. When you take vitamin C, vitamin D as a supplement, what is the amount that you should take daily that is required daily? And
sure.
My other question, just so I'll say that and then I'll hush up. Quercetin and vitamin C. I listened to the Miss Morrow on your holistic page, and referring to quercetin, which is a herb or something. Can you expound?
Quercetin. Yeah, quercetin.
Yeah, can you just expound on that a little bit so we know what that is?
Yeah, so what was your first question again? It was dealing with vitamin D, right?
Vitamin D.
Yeah, you're right. Remember, vitamin D is always going to be it's always going to be based on the season. Okay, the season that you're in. Remember, you're far away from the equator now. The sun is falling. So whenever you're trying to do when you're talking about vitamin D, you always want to make sure that usually spring and summer is 5,000 IUs. Fall and winter is 10,000
a day.
You got that? That's all because remember, you're falling away from, the sun. We don't have as much. We don't have that much sunlight. So that's why I'm telling folks, make sure you get outside also. Get some sunlight. It's definitely something that we need on a regular basis, but see, you can't get that much now. So any little bit of sun that you get, make sure you get it first thing in the morning.
So we should take 10,000 milligrams a day of vitamin D?
Now, because you're in the winter months.
Because of the winter months.
So that's 10,000 IUs. Now, if you get the right ones, you can get what's called you can get either drops. I recommend the liquids, by the way. Okay, that's what I recommend. And if you get the liquids, you want to make sure you get the right one. So you can get one that's 5,000 per tablespoon.
Okay.
They even have 5,000 per drops. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So either one will help you. Okay.
Is there a particular brand name?
Hold on. Let me show you one. Hold on. See, this is the advantages of being at home.
Just run in the back room and snatch
If I was at the studio, I'll be like, you gotta trust me on that one.
Yep. Go get your stash.
This is it right here. This is one that I have. It's called Blue Bonnet.
Okay.
Can y'all see that?
Right.
Yes.
Liquid vitamin D. Can y'all see that? Where's my camera? Right there. Is it backwards?
No,
it's right. Mm-hmm.
It just looks backwards to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
All right, so that's it. That's the one. Take a screenshot if you have to. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Dr. Paul,
All right. That's the one that actually is the drops. This is the drops. So this one is recommended to take just one drop is 5,000 IUs.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so that's amazing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you would just do what? 2 drops. That'll last you a
right.
long time. That'll last you through the whole winter right there. Got it?
Okay.
So that's what I recommend. All right. You mentioned the other one. What was that?
Can I ask you a question? When I moved, I stopped taking vitamin D because I have some all the time. So do I still need to take it?
I would still take it, but you just don't take as much. You know, even with you're down in the sun, you're still not getting a lot. You literally have to be,
because you're further south.
You know, you really have to be out and, all the time with, not just your face being covered, but your whole body. You got it? So I would recommend definitely still, I would say yes. Okay. Still take something, but you wouldn't have to take all the 10,000 that we said. You can do about 5,000. So one drop. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm going to go back to the question that
Audrey.
Let's see. Audrey had a question about the vitamin C and quercetin, both antioxidants. Okay, highest of the antioxidants. Quercetin is good. It's one of the flavonoids, and it comes from a lot of different sources of fruits and things like that. But definitely, quercetin is like the color. The color of the yellow color in fruits and vegetables. So what I would recommend is, yes, you can use that along with vitamin C. It's an excellent combination. But I would say just get a really good version of the vitamin C. You can get a very good one called Purely C. Y'all heard of Purely C?
No.
Huh?
No.
I haven't.
Yes.
Are y'all saying yeah or no?
Yes.
I can't hear you. Yes. Okay, I got that too. Hold on.
That's a combination of everything. Yes, no, I don't know.
We got a drugstore over here.
Well,
All right.
That's an herbal drugstore for y'all. That's right. This is it right here. Purely C.
Purely C. All right.
That is actually what I would say is the best of the vitamin C's that are out. Mm-hmm. If you want a vitamin C, you always want a vitamin C. Not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease or food for the soul family.
Yes, sir. Yes,
this
sir.
is a vitamin C that is, you take a screenshot if you have to. Screenshot if you have to.
I don't know how to do that.
This particular one is from fruit base, which is what we want. Remember, we don't want that vitamin C. If you get the vitamin C that's in the regular store, if you go to an herbal store, even if an herbal store, and you get that vitamin C, if it's not by fruit base, it's probably by corn. You don't want that.
Be very careful.
And we know the number one genetically modified of all of the foods is the corn right now.
Yes, correct.
So that one is not even real. Got it? So Purely C comes from, and you can actually see on the back, it comes from the acerola cherry powder. It's wild organic camu powder. It also comes from rose hips. Those are all the forms that it's coming from. Got it? So it's a purely C, and it's at a high rate. It's at approximately, if I would say 3, it comes into about somewhere around 1,000 milligrams a capsule. It's one of the highest ones you can get. Got it?
Who's it by?
Thank you.
Yep. Got it? All right. So yes, quercetin with that works very well. Very well. Excellent. Good anti-inflammatory, especially if you have issues with bone, joint, ligament problems, connective tissue issues, arthritis, things like that. All right.
Okay.
Rheumatism, all those are good things. Okay.
Thank
all
you.
right. Always a good question. You always got a good one, Audrey. All right.
What about when they say vitamin D3? What does that mean? Is that something different?
Well, that's what this is, D3. See, D2
D3.
actually, right, D2 converts in the liver to D3. So that's why D3
So
is
the body
what
makes
you want.
that conversion. Is that what you're saying, Dr. Paul?
Yeah, it converts it.
Okay.
Now, also, there is another conversion that a lot of people don't know about, and that's with vitamin A.
Okay.
Y'all know about vitamin A and beta carotene?
Talk to us.
Yes.
Hello, is this mic on? Am I on?
Yes.
Bill, am I on?
Yes.
You sure, man?
Yes, we know.
Yes.
I gotta keep checking on yours. I see 70 people on there, but I don't hear nobody but crickets. Go ahead. All right.
Oh, boy.
All right. So vitamin A. All right. Write this down, family, because this is also on our COVID-19 list of things that you need to get. And that is vitamin A and beta carotene. Got it? We're trying to get as high as we can on this one. You want to try to get around minimum 200,000. Let me get that one too. Hold up, I got that one too.
Let me see here. Beta carotene.
I should bring all my herbs over there.
You might as well put them in a chair right next to you, Doc.
All right. I'm bringing all of them over here.
See there? See everybody. He's
See
just
there?
trying
Y'all
to
gonna
be.
make me go.
See what he's trying to be
my,
cute. We don't
I'm
want nobody to
bringing out
know.
my store today. All right. Let's see what else I got over here. Got some good stuff over here.
All right, talk to us.
Let y'all into the fortress of solitude.
Well,
all right, here we are. Beta carotene, another blue bonnet products. Very good. This is the one that's the beta carotene, which is 25,000 IUs. Got it?
Can you put that
25,000 IUs. Now, it's recommended when you are trying to deal with COVID. You're trying to overwhelm the virus, okay? So that means you have to add a lot of it. So we try to do about 200,000 IUs daily.
Wow.
Y'all got that?
Okay.
That's 200,000.
Dr. Hall, not that we're pushing any particular brands, but are there any that you find that are, I guess, more likely to give us the better,
Well, that's the one I wanted to talk about. That
Right.
Blue Bond is a good brand.
Right.
You
Blue
want to
Bonnet,
go with
okay.
anyone that's just made the commitment to be organic, okay?
Right. Okay.
So is
All right. Anyone that's made the commitment now. The point I wanted to make,
Can I ask
this
real quick?
falls in line with the necessity to have vitamin A. Same thing, beta carotene, same thing, vitamin A, but the beta carotene converts in the liver to vitamin A. You got it? Y'all got that?
Yeah.
So whether you get vitamin A, which is the direct source, or if you don't get the vitamin A, you get the beta carotene. Okay? and that converts it to vitamin A.
Okay.
You got that?
Yeah. So we don't have to necessarily eat both of them. Take both of them.
Right. You don't need both. That's correct.
Right.
You don't need both.
Okay.
But if you're going to the store and see right now, there's the mass dash, dash for vitamin A, but you can get beta carotene, and the beta carotene at the same rate as the vitamin A, the liver converts it to vitamin A. Got it? It's just like another second step, just like the vitamin D. When you have the vitamin D, it's D2 converts to D3. Got it? So what does that mean? There's only one disclaimer. Okay, I'm going to give you one disclaimer, and that one disclaimer is that if you only time you don't want to do the beta carotene is if you have liver problems. That makes sense, right? Because if the liver is actually having to convert to, and it's already having problems in the liver, then you got to watch out for beta carotene. You need straight vitamin A. You got it? That's an important step. For some people, they may have issues with liver. It could be a fatty liver. It could be congestion in the liver. It could be something like they may have had a bout with hepatitis or something like that, A, B, or C. Anything like that that's caused liver problems, you need that. But I got a solution for you also. If you have something like that, then that means you need a liver cleanse. And that person would need something like a burdock root, a dandelion root, yellow dock root. Okay, those are liver cleanses. Okay, so if you were to only be able to find the beta carotene and you still said, well, you know what? I can't find the vitamin A. You can take the beta carotene, but you would drive it with one of those liver cleanses to help the liver process it. Got it? Y'all got that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to the gallery now. Let's see who's in here. Oh, there y'all go. Oh. All right, I see everybody now.
There were a couple of hands raising. Well, there's one young lady there that says Galaxy S9. She's been waving her hand for a minute.
Let's grab her. Who is that?
Wendy.
Is that Wendy?
Yes.
Okay, that's Wendy.
Okay, now I got kind of confused. Okay, I stopped yesterday and picked up Biotin 1000 mcg. Was that the wrong thing to pick up from the food by Blue Bonnet?
Sure. No, that's not bad. See, mcgs is micrograms. That's what it stands for. Okay, and you would just take it as is recommended. For your hair? Did you get it specifically for your hair?
No, I happened to go. I was talking to my sister, and she was telling me the different stuff to get. She sent me a text message just now telling me that you were on. And I was just trying to get all the different health products that she suggested for me to get. I got Emergency C. I picked up some elderberry. They didn't have the type that she told me to get, but I got Sambucus, elderberry.
Sambucus.
Okay, Sambucus. Okay, and that was for the immune support. The reason why I was waving my hands, you had taken two products and put them up at the screen, but the light fixture was hitting on what we could have possibly read. So I was trying to see if you could have put it a little closer to the screen so I could have wrote the information down. You were speaking about the 10.
You had two products in your hand, Dr. Paul. That she said.
I think it was the beta carotene.
Probably, yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, we couldn't see.
The one before the beta carotene, the very first one that he told us to snapshot. I believe that was the
vitamin D.
Yeah.
Vitamin D, and the other one was the Purely C. I was trying to find out who that was by.
Yeah, Purely C is by a company called North American Herb and Spice.
I have that information to give her. I took a picture of it, Wendy.
Okay. All right.
And listen, guys, do yourself a favor. If you miss something, and if there's someone who can actually put that information in the chat, put it there so that when we're done, as we say, the chat will be able to get that out to you. So if you missed it, at least you'll be able to go back and look at it and compare, with each other. Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Got it. All right. Okay. So who else do we have here?
Cheryl is
let some
waving.
more folks in.
And the prophetess is waving.
Prophetess?
Yes.
Yes, you there? Where
Yes,
are
I
you?
am. Before I ask my question.
Oh, there you are, down there. I see you.
Oh, see, on my screen, I'm sitting between you and Bill.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes. So my question, before I go, are you asking us to raise our hand? We list the participants. Should everybody open the participant list and use the raise the hand function?
Yeah, right
Yes.
on right in the participants on your screen, you see where you can actually raise your hand.
Yes.
And I can see, and Bill's
says
grabbing and telling me
reaction.
who's on there.
Yeah, we need to tell everybody that.
Yeah, make sure everyone does that, okay? If you have
Open
a
up your
question,
participant list.
yes, open up your participant list and just raise your hand, all right? And remember, family, we, ask a question. Some people are chiming in, never been here before, and some folks say, I just listen. But sometimes they still have questions. So remember, there's no dumb question, right?
Right.
The only dumb question is the one we didn't ask, right?
I know that's right. Yes.
Right.
Okay.
See, you
Also,
probably with your go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your explanation first.
No, I was going to say that I get that all the time. People will wait till I get off and then they'll call me. I said, why didn't you ask that? Because you could have asked that, and probably a lot of people would have loved to hear what you had to say there.
Yes.
That's a good question.
Yes.
Because sometimes we don't cover everything. And sometimes you really need to ask that question.
Also,
okay?
Dr. Hall, also bear in mind, everybody, we can't see everybody at one time. All right. So when you have your participant list up, and I can scroll down. If your hand is up, I can let Dr. Paul know that your hand is up.
Right.
Way, he can come directly to you by name. How about that? Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. So who do we have now, Bill?
I didn't ask my question yet.
Okay.
Oh, is that you still there? I thought that was your question.
No, I just wanted everybody to establish. I just want the ground rules to be established for everybody because they don't always know.
Okay.
Again, before I ask my question, somebody put a question in the chat box that I think is very important. They were saying they picked up a couple herbs for a lady at the vitamin shop, and her question is, did she quit her meds from her doctor? I think that's really important that you address that before people start, quitting their medicine.
Right. Yes. That's definitely good question. Remember, family, first we have to understand that yes, herbs are food. Okay, it's just like you're eating. But what happens is, remember, you got two things going on. When you're taking medication, especially if you've been taking it for a long time, you never want to just pull off of your medication. Never do that.
Yes.
That would be because your body is so used to that. Remember, medication is what's called suppressive therapy. Suppress means it's going to bring it down. It's trying to stop your body from doing what it naturally is doing. So when you're doing that, you just don't take the medication at the same time as you're taking the herbs.
Right.
You always want to do it at least 2 to 3 hours before or after, or as recommended from your healthcare professional. Because, you have to understand that, yes, you have to be smart and wise at the same time. Many people are on a lot of medications.
Yes.
And sometimes it may not be a good thing to jump on something just taking a whole lot of stuff. Remember, we say take the right herb for the right situation.
Yes.
Don't just take it. I give you the assortment of herbs because I want you to understand this is your toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
You use a toolbox for the specific job, right? You don't. If you have to put a nail in the wall, what kind of tool you gonna use?
Screwdriver.
A screwdriver. A hammer.
I said
I use a shoe.
A hammer.
I use a shoe.
You guys are Oh boy.
I'm
Okay.
gonna use that shoe.
Yeah, that's what I got. Dr. Paul, now my question is, I have a 15-year-old last month just diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. However you say it.
Hodgkin's
Um,
lymphoma.
Thank you. Went in the hospital day before Christmas, just came home yesterday, did not do well with chemo at all. Her body is reacting very badly. So they're thinking about canceling or at least postponing the next chemo. I suggested to her grandfather that he come and see you. But in the meantime, before they get a chance to call, what can I suggest to them for this child? She's 15. I'm sure she's terrified. A whole bunch of things that we as adults, don't even handle well.
Right. Do you know much about the situation other than them diagnosing just for the lymphoma, Hodgkin's lymphoma? When I mean that, did was she presenting any symptoms like outbreaks, things like that?
Oh no, I don't know that. I don't know that.
Okay.
I can
All right.
find out.
So what's happening is for Hodgkin's, she said this is with or without non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or Hodgkin's?
This
With
is
it.
Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Right. Yeah, that's not a good one.
That's
so
not.
no, right. What's happening is remember that's the lymphatic system. Lymphoma deals with cancer in the lymphatic system.
Okay.
So what we're talking about, remember we talk about the lymphatic system is your sewer system of the body. What really concerns me is that this is a child.
Yes.
At 15 years old, they're still a child. What has the child been exposed to that the entire lymphatic system is shutting down with cancer? Shows that it looks like they've been exposed to something very toxic. Do you know if they're, do you know weight? Is this male or female?
It's a girl.
Is she overweight?
I don't think so.
Okay. So
It's
the
been a
other
couple years
issue
since
would
I've
be,
seen her. She wasn't overweight the last time I saw her.
right. So what happens is you got to watch, your lymphatic system is your secondary circulatory system. So that means the secondary circulatory system, not like your first system, your heart pumps arteries and veins. The lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. So what happens is that's where your body gets rid of the poison. So for example, everybody, you're sitting probably in your house somewhere and you probably got a trash can next to you somewhere, right? Well, you might throw trash in that trash can. It's in the trash can, but it's not out the building.
Right.
You got it? That's what the lymphatic system represents the trash can of the body. But what happens, the body looks and says, I want to recirculate this one more time before I get rid of it. So it sort of goes through a cycle. But remember, it doesn't have a pump. It just has these muscles that overlap and they twitch, but they only move when you move, because the lymphatic system also gets rid of bacteria, virus, fungus, sepsis, parasites, even cancer. That's how the body properly gets rid of it. But sometimes that system gets blocked. So that's what we got to move the lymphatic system. So dehydration is number one on the list.
Okay. What about the dry brush massage and the lymphatic massages? Would they be good to
Right, but it's good, but you got to get that water right. Okay, that's number one. The water's got to be spot on. So you would do half of her body weight in ounces.
Okay.
That's number one. Because even if you have the dry brushing, nothing's going to move if there's dehydration or presence of dehydration, because it can't move the system. You got it? Can't move. So that person is seriously dehydrated. So that's a big problem. So number one, make sure the water's right. Make sure it's the right water. Okay, you know what water to tell her to use.
Yes.
Number two, you got to get that lymphatic system moving. What moves the lymphatic system, believe it or not, is the sweat glands. You got it? So that's the pseudomotor. So usually, like I said, that's why I was asking, was she overweight? Because a lot of times when the sweat glands stop moving, It could be because of overweight, but it also could be involved with toxicity. So being exposed to something toxic or environmental. You know, you got to watch. You know, one that really is sort of creeping up is mold. Okay, mold. You know, make sure there's no presence of black mold in the house.
Yes, yes, yes.
See, black mold is making a big run because of all that bad weather we had with the storms and everything. A lot of people had flooding, had little leaking in the basement or a lot of leaking, and it builds up that black mold. And what else is in the basement usually? Ventilation system, your heater. You got it? All of those things that, you know, conduct the airflow. So it gets in the air duct. Now it blows all the way through the entire house. Now you got black mold, and everybody has breathing issues, lung issues, coughing all the time. You know, scraggly cough that just never seems to go anywhere. You got it? So keep that in mind. I'm just trying to troubleshoot just to let you know there's many ways that you got to look at this. And when they sit down for an assessment, this is where I go. I go into whether it's something they've been exposed to. It could be environmental. And believe it or not, it could be shots too. Vaccinations. You know, I got to tell it the way it is, family. You know, vaccinations has a lot to do with clogging up the system. You know, they're basically recommending to the FDA, which is the board that recommends. They're not the ones that actually do they're the ones that do the lobbying to the CDC.
Yes, very much so.
They actually recommend somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 40 to 45 shots for a child before the age of 18 months.
45.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You got it? So that's just the recommendation. So like I said, it's a lot going on there. So you got to go down that list of possibility of things that she may have been exposed to. Okay. You know, that's our take. That's our take on it. Got it? That's our take. Y'all got to remember that, right?
Right. And what about the herbs? Would the red clover and the paco de those herbs be good to take?
Yep. Not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent disease. Just food for the soul, family. Yep, you got it. Pal d'Arco. That's PAUD'*ARCO. Okay. The other one would be, of course, you mentioned red clover. Okay. Now, one that really moves, that's very aggressive, is the chaparral. CHAP, as in Paul, ARRAL, chaparral. Chaparral has a very distinct smell to it. Very, very powerful herb. And when I say powerful herb, it's an herb that will move the system. I mean, you can have chaparral and it will overpower a herbal formula. That's how strong it is. So chaparral goes in. I guess we just mentioned those three: Palo d'Arco, red clover, chaparral. Got it? They are considered cancer scavengers. What does that mean? That means that literally when it enters the body, it goes in there and says, Bill, where are they? Where are they? Where they at? I'm going to get them. I'm going, where they at? Yes. Goes after cancer. Woo! That is mean. So what does that mean? You do have cancer scavengers, right? The rebounder would be good for her also. I would definitely suggest the rebounder.
What's that?
You know, the trampoline, the mini trampoline.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Mini trampoline. She needs to get on that like ASAP. Okay, whenever you have lymphoma, lymphatic system, ask also, is she swelling anywhere? In the ankles, in the feet, in the legs, the knees, also around the neck area. usually there's a lot of itching in with the skin, usually with lymphomas trying to eradicate. So the body's last resort is to send it to the surface of the skin, evacuate it out of the body. So it's going to send it to the surface of the skin. So that's when people have bumps, blisters, boils, psoriasis, eczema, any type of outbreaks in the body. That's usually going to be usually boils under the armpits, things like that. That's a backup of the lymphatic system. So the body says, if you're not going to do this, then I'm going to take over this for you. So I'm going to create a boil right where you need to pull this out of you. That's why some people get the boils right under the arm.
Yes.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
And then if you break that boil, it's going to smell something god awful. And that means that's how much poison was coming out of the system. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
See, the boil is able to draw out of the system what you don't want them to do, which is to cut you. See, when someone has lymphatic issues or lymphatic blockage, there may be, for some women, they get breast lumps, okay? Well, those breast lumps doesn't mean you got cancer, okay? It just means that's blocked lymph trying to get out. Usually, the things that stagnate the lymph in the system may be an infection of one of those vessels in your lymph system. Or the lymph node may be blocked. Now, you can go right to my website and you can pull up, I have a lymphatic chart that shows you the entire body. So if you go to the website, which is www.drpaulherbs.com, and you can download under the area where it says downloads, go there. You can download the lymphatic chart, okay? And the lymphatic chart will show you exactly what I'm talking about, okay? But Prophetess, that's what I would recommend, okay?
Thank you. And I hope that we can get them to come make an appointment to see you.
Yeah. And also, I was not able, I know you have the event that's happening on Sunday evenings. It's just a little challenge for me, only because I'm dealing with my wife. But I can tell you this. Let's make a time and point. I do want to sit in with the African seminar that you have every every Sunday?
Yes, right after.
Yes. Yeah, right after my show. So if they want to, and also, they're more than invited to come in on any time if they have any questions, or feed the questions if I can't get to them.
Right.
I'd be glad to sit in on them. But I sound like you had a hot one the other day.
We did cardio. Yes, it's very hot. Everyone we have, I'd be like, darn, Dr. Paul should be here. But I'm going to see if we can get a day where we can have you, when you tell me that you can have, when you have that time available.
Yeah. It's a lot to talk about, family,
yes.
And so many things are going on right now that, we got to get the information and stay close. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see. Who else we got, Bill?
Okay, hold on here, Dr. P. There's a whole bunch of folk there. You've got this.
Somebody been
Audrey,
waiting. Who
Cheryl,
said that?
that's Michelle,
Cheryl.
and Patricia.
That's Cheryl.
Hi.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Hey, Cheryl.
How are you? First of all,
I am doing well.
Good. I want to thank you for your time and your knowledge. This is very informative, and I've learned a lot. I have two questions. One, what can you tell us how to support having a normal cholesterol nutritionally and herbally?
Okay.
Right. For cholesterol, number one, you got to stop the trigger. The trigger is that you got to watch the oils. Got it? Got to watch those oils. What's happening is they're telling you that you got good and bad cholesterol. You got high density and low density, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the question really is, wait a minute, how can it be bad if the body still makes it? Interesting. Well, it can't be bad if the body still makes it, it's not bad. It's just out of balance. So what's throwing it out of balance has everything to do with the liver activity with the liver. So you have to make sure you got to watch those oils. If there's anything that I can point to that makes a big difference more than anything, has everything to deal with the oil. So we want to say stay away from, matter of fact, stay away from, family, those oils. And I'm gonna give those oils out one more time. Those oils are no canola oil, no corn oil, no vegetable oil, no peanut oil, or any form of oil that is refined. Okay? Why? Because that's going to cause the liver really doesn't like the oil. It makes it gunky, and it really causes problem with the processing of this thing called interferon in the liver, which is the consistency that allows the body to know how to balance this blood. Can't do it. So it gets all gunked up, sends false signals. Next thing you know, cholesterol takes a jump sky high. So what you got to do, number one, you got to clean the liver. But most importantly, you got to stay off those oils. So unrefined oils is what you want. What is that? That would be something like sunflower oil, safflower oil. That would be safflower, safflower. Those are some of the highest of the oils with what's called the smoke point. Smoke point. Smoke point means that it takes a lot before it burns. Now, you remember we had that show, Bill, when we talked about God's signature? Yes. Y'all remember God's signature? You know, when I told you God's signature? Well, there's an incredible God signature with sunflower and safflower. You ever see the sunflower, how big it is? It just sits out there all day. Really big, yes. Just sits out all day, just catching them rays, right? So by it building its ability to stay out in the sun all the time, actually deals with this ability to deal with heat. Wow, ain't that awesome? Okay. That is awesome. If you can't see God, you ain't looking. I'm sorry, y'all.
I know that's right.
So that's why it heats up and it doesn't burn till 520. You got people's ovens that don't get higher than 520. So that's a safer, that's a safer oil for you. But I would say, Cheryl, you got to really watch the oils, okay?
Okay.
Number two, you can do something like the vitamin C, like the Purely C vitamin C. Excellent for cholesterol.
Okay.
You got it? Excellent for cholesterol. Also the vitamin A. Everything we talked about today, all good for cholesterol. Helps to clean that liver. You got it? Right. We have also another one, sea buckthorn. Sea buckthorn.
How do you take that?
It's in the oil.
Okay.
Sea buckthorn is it's an herb also, but it's actually used it's actually berries. You can get it in the oil also. Okay. Very good for cholesterol. Okay. Okay. So there's a lot of solutions, but make sure you keep the liver clean and absolutely make sure your water's right. How's your water?
It's good. I'm using a geyser. I'm trying to up my intake I'm only drinking maybe 1.5 quarts, so I'm trying to get up to 2 quarts a day.
Okay, so remember what your number is, right? Are you exact on your number?
Yeah, half my body weight.
Okay, good. If you're doing that, you should be fine. Okay. Okay. Just stay on that. But that's what you got to watch. What kind of oil do you have, by the way?
Well, I wasn't sure about the oil, so I do have corn oil, but I'll be getting rid of that.
Oh, yeah.
I stopped the canola oil and the vegetable oil because it looks like soybean oil, and so it's hard to decide. So now that I have the safflower and the sunflower, that's what I'll be getting.
Right. And also, I want to add something else to it. Family, all y'all got to get this thing called the air fryers. Air
Yes.
fryers.
Yes.
Air fryers are excellent. I use them all the time, and I think it's a good alternative to putting oil or frying foods. Got it?
Okay.
Because you use very little to no oil. I don't recommend the one that comes in the ball. I recommend the one that's like the square. You got it? Like the oven one. Because they have what's called 9-in-1s. I think they even have an 11-in-1 now. So it does about 9-in-1 different types of ovens. So it bakes, it broils, it's a rotisserie. It actually slow cooks, it air fries, it does all these things. But you can actually use that, uses very little to no oil. When people come in and they've had high cholesterol or high blood pressure problems, I tell them about, stay off the oils, watch those oils we just talked about, but also go and invest in a square air fryer, okay? And therefore, you can put more dishes in. You got 2 levels that you can get in. Okay. That tends to, when they come back, their numbers drastically change. When I say drastically, I've seen people's numbers drastically change.
Like that.
So I would just use that as a word of wisdom. Okay.
What about avocado oil?
Avocado is good also, but remember, if it's avocado, it has to be what?
Refined.
Unrefined.
Unrefined.
Just as long as it's unrefined. Okay.
Rapeseed too.
Grapeseed, all of them. You don't want nothing refined, because guess what? Who's the greatest refiners?
Our body.
Our bodies.
We are the greatest refiners, right?
Yes.
We are the greatest refiners. So you don't want something that's already been refined, because then, therefore, there's nothing in it. All right?
Now,
okay, Cheryl?
Do I have to worry about the word refined on the bottle of sunflower or safflower oil?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. You want unrefined.
Okay.
Now, you'll also notice that refined versus unrefined, you can see sometimes you'll get those 2 bottles together and you can see the big difference. When you have refined, it's always going to be a lighter oil. The darker oils are always unrefined.
Okay.
Why?
Because it's got all that goody in it.
Got the goody in it, y'all.
That's right.
All right. Okay, who else we got, Bill? Thank you, Cheryl. Appreciate you.
Okay, let's see. Did you get Michelle a while ago? There was Audrey and Michelle.
Did we get Michelle?
How about Patricia?
No, not yet.
Okay, Michelle, go ahead.
Hey, Michelle, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How is everyone?
Just wonderful.
Everyone good.
That's good. Good. So, I'm glad that I have a couple questions, and I'm glad that you talked about the lymph node. So I'm just very worried that sometimes I'll be having like a boil underneath my armpit. And I don't put any deodorant on because some deodorants irritate my skin.
Yes.
So and half the time I do the hot compress, and sometimes blood comes out. Not a lot, but like little bits of blood, or sometimes pus. So I was just wanting to know, like, should I be worried about that?
Well, like I said, you got to get the system moving. Even if you put a hot compress under there, it's still not going to correct the problem that the lymphatic system is not moving. Now, remember, what moves the lymphatic system? Dehydration, number 1. Everybody write this down. Number 1 is dehydration. That's what slows down the lymphatic system. Number 2 is breathing. Oh, if I got to go over one thing more than anything when I sit down with folks, is how we are breathing. There's so many people that are breathing upper respiratory. We say short breathing. Upper respiratory. They're not breathing with a full breath. But guess what? That slows the lymphatic system down. You got it? Your rhythm, your body's out of balance. So you got to start to make sure, please, make sure you're breathing properly. That means that when you take air in, your stomach comes out. Stop throwing the chest up like this. You know, you people throwing the chest up. See, take a deep breath.
Dr. Paul is trying to be cute and not using the belt. Stop trying to be cute, y'all. Just be ugly like I am sometimes. Just let it roll. Let it roll. It just works. It just all on your belt.
It just seems hard.
So that's exactly what we're saying. So breathing, usually the lymphatic system starts with, number one, you're not breathing right. So check your breathing. Okay. Make sure you got enough water. Number three is exercise. Remember that pseudomotor. You gotta sweat. Some of y'all too cool to sweat. Y'all too cool to sweat. Y'all too cool to sweat. Don't want to sweat. Bill, I can't sweat. I might ruin my clothes.
Help me now.
I can't sweat.
I know that's right.
So here we go.
Sometimes you just got to blow up the room, Dr. Paul. Say, what is that you?
So
Go
what
outside.
what I would recommend is when you do an exercise, make sure you do the exercise, but even more importantly, at the same time every day. So if it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, make sure you do that exercise.
Why is that important? Setting a regimen. Why is that important?
That's important because your body has to establish what's called the circadian rhythm, with, knowing how to distribute the energy. So what's happening is this is very important that you know that by, we know 8 o'clock in the morning, every 8 o'clock, we're going to be moving it. So it starts to now set a rhythm. So it moves that lymphatic system. Now, here's a very interesting thing about the lymphatic system also. For someone who exercises every single day, I mean, someone that you see on the track, running, exercising, a total fitness person that works every single day, that works out. The lymphatic system only moves one time a day. You got it? So that means that the person who doesn't exercise every day, the person that doesn't, maybe work out every 2 to 3 days, some people don't work out in years. Their system is stopped.
I know
you
that's
got
right.
it. May move once a month. You got me? That's what's happening, y'all. Wow. So that's why you got to get it moving. So moving the system, pseudomotor, doing the exercise along with the water, and then also the rebounder. I mentioned the rebounder earlier. Okay. And then, of course, we have the herbs that move, which I gave out the herbs that you can use.
Right.
Now, if you want to deal with topical herbs that can use to pull that poison out of the boil, you can take those same herbs I gave you that I recommended, and you can make them into you can sort of like use a pestle mortar, or you can get them in the powder form, right? Put them on a plate. Y'all hear this? Are y'all listening?
Yeah.
Okay, take it and put it in the powder on a plate. Add a little water to make a paste out of it. Okay, make that paste. Put it get yourself like a latex glove or something, or a protective glove, medicine glove, and then you can pack it into a cloth, like the cheesecloth that goes under for just a sanitized cloth, and wrap it in that area. And then what it does, it will draw it out. Okay. Those are called astringent herbs, astringents. Additional astringent herbs would be things like alum, A-L-U-M, alum. Alum. Not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease. This food for the soul. Alum. This is for topical, though. This is for topical. Alum. A-L-U-M. There's another one called witch hazel. And that's not witch hazel in the liquid that you find in the drugstore. You got that? Witch hazel is an herb first. Did y'all know that, by the way?
Well,
No. No.
Yes.
You knew that. All right. When you go to the drugstore tomorrow, I want you to go in there. When you go in there, when you look at the bottle of the witch hazel, if you look on the bottle, most of them will have the herb on the bottle.
Oh.
how about
You probably never even noticed it.
Well, have
Well,
mercy.
what type of witch hazel? Like, there's different kinds.
No. This witch hazel is the herb. Okay, this is the herb witch hazel. Okay, so what you would do, you can get the powdered version of the witch hazel. It's an herb. Witch hazel is an herb. It's an astringent.
Okay.
It draws in. So it pulls poison out of the body. So when you put it on the skin, it dries up real good. So it's good for bumps, blisters, boils, psoriasis, eczema, all of that stuff.
So can you use that for
Whenever you want it, if you take it internally, it tightens stuff up. It tightens your intestines up. You know, so it brings it in.
Someone said you can drink it. They didn't know that.
You could
drink it? You can take it as a tea. Yes,
Well,
you can
excuse
take it
me.
as a tea.
I never knew that.
Well, excuse us.
You gotta
So
get the right
wild,
one.
It's actually
That's
called
news to
wild.
So which is the right one then, Doctor? Well, not anyone.
Right, it's
Or any
called
particular?
wild.
Not
okay,
the stuff from the
wild.
drugstore, please.
Okay.
Don't
so-
go to the drugstore. Don't
Someone
go.
please put that in the chat so we know exactly.
I got
which
it.
one.
I'm typing now. Mhm.
All right. All right.
Okay, wild alum.
We don't want nobody going in just
Wild.
glug, glug, glug.
Right.
The
I
Dr.
don't
Paul
want to
said
die.
y'all got some herb back
This is a
there.
good Google Moogle. What's wrong with you?
I know this Rite Aid.
Rite Aid special.
I want the Rite Aid, not the wrong aid.
I'll be good. Be good. I can't
Oh,
complain.
help me, Lord.
God is good. Oh
All
my.
right, y'all.
Oh,
All
boy.
right.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So
be nice
wild
for
alum.
about 3 seconds.
Okay, you got witch hazel,
Oh.
and I'm gonna give you one more.
Okay.
One more, and that's called shepherd's purse.
Yes.
Shepherd's purse, like a shepherd, like a dog, or a shepherd, like leading the flock, like Jesus.
Well.
The Lord our shepherd.
Shepherd's
Or
Shepherd's
in a
purse.
purse, like a woman's purse.
And did you say you mix them together and make this paste?
Well, you can. That is correct. And it'll draw the poison out. That's correct. That's also good for poison ivy, poison oak, mosquito bites, things like that. You can make a tea out of those and put it in a spray bottle in the summertime, and it keeps off the mosquitoes from you. So those are good ones for astringents. That's why we give that also for men. That's one of the first herbs that we give for men when they have prostate issues. And also for women when there are issues with fibroid cyst and tumor issues. That's what we use to shrink fibroid cyst and tumors. So, women like men would use that to deal with incontinence issues.
Okay.
Can y'all mute? Make sure you're muting, y'all.
Somebody
Make sure you mute. Make sure you
guys.
Did you find
mute
it?
up, y'all. Mute up. All right.
Eunice Wardell needs to mute.
Eunice, make sure you mute up, okay?
Sorry, but I was muted. I'm sorry.
All right, so those are the 3 herbs that I recommend for that. Got it? So witch hazel. Do y'all know why witch hazel is in the market? Do y'all know why it's in the drugstore?
No.
No.
Do you ever know why it's in there?
No.
Nobody knows?
No.
Nobody knows.
Y'all want to know?
Yeah.
Of course. Don't
Tell
hide from
us.
us.
They have
Okay.
women to use
Witch
it right after
hazel is
delivery.
also used. It's always used. The midwives usually use this. A lot of women use this during childbirth
Right.
because what happens is, remember, it's what is it strong for? It's astringent properties. So after a woman has given birth, it's used to bring the uterus back in place by douching with it to bring it back into place, into position.
Really?
And that's what's done with what's called a sitz bath.
Right.
A woman would do a sitz bath with witch hazel.
Witch hazel.
Brothers, listen up. All y'all that's in here. We
Yeah.
getting out of trouble. Telling
Okay.
you, gotta learn something now.
I mean, while
Wow.
we're talking about it, it might as well help somebody, right?
Well, I know
You
that's
never
right.
know. You never know, right? You
Oh,
never
and
know.
I have my second question, Dr. Paul. I was very hesitant to ask this question too. So, I'm in my childbearing years. I'm in my near 30s, and I want to plan to have another child. I have a 7-year-old already. So, what herbs will prepare me like holistically to have like a safe and healthy pregnancy in the near future? So,
Good question. All good stuff.
All right.
See, when you're looking at childbearing years and you want to have a healthy pregnancy, you really got a lot to be aware of. You got to be on top of this game, because of the GMO factor, because of the medicines, because of the vaccines. It's so much, and it's gotten so chemicalized with everything. So you have to, number one, make your declaration known, okay, amongst the hospital and whoever you're dealing with. Number one. We have a process that we take women through, but we do this. It's called female reproductive factors. Female reproductive factors. That means there's certain type of herbs that you need to help with the reproductive factors that are going on with your hormones to produce a proper, balanced, and strong child. Got it? But also it builds you up in the process so that you can deliver. Now, when we do that, you have to establish a baseline. We have to find out where you are first. How is your health? And most importantly, and y'all hear me on this one, most importantly, the male's health. Did you know that over 50% to 60% of the time, when a woman has a child, has a situation where she doesn't take the child to birth, or they have a complication, it's not because of the woman, it's because of the male. A lot of the men are not healthy and do not produce proper strong, strength with their health, and they produce lack of good quality sperm that's used to do the ability for the woman to fertilize the egg. So a lot of the women take the burden of not being able to bear children, but it's not the woman, it's usually the male.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
So that means that when we take you through this reproductive factors, we take both the male and the female. So you would be taking the same herbs at the same time. Doesn't that make sense?
Yes.
That's what you would do. So both would have to be evaluated and find out where the problems were, and we prepare you for the childbirth and for the fertilization process, all of that. We take you through that process. So you would need an assessment, and then we work out a game plan for you, okay?
Okay.
But keep that in mind. A lot of women have, and it's caused another level of grief and in some ways depression, and I would probably say other lines of mental trauma to a lot of women, because they would think that it was their problem. It wasn't your problem. If you was ever a child that was lost in the process of birth, and a lot of times it wasn't your fault. Okay. So a lot of women need to hear that, because, you know, some women are still feeling that they're not, you know, it gets into the not feeling worthy enough, not feeling like they were, you know, feeling like they were punished. And it's not your fault. It was probably because of the male. Think about it, Bill. You can co-sign on this one. You know, women, when they get pregnant, y'all got the glow. Y'all doing all the healthy foods. You eating the right foods. You doing all the right stuff. And the guy over there, what he doing? Drinking beer, hanging out. You know, not doing anything. And then they want to produce a healthy child, and that's where the problem happens.
If I may, allow me to invite ladies, please do me a big favor. Invite your brothers and have them sit next to you while we're on the program, because you know what? Can I say this? And look, and I'm a brother. We just so ignorant sometimes.
Well, yeah.
Because and let me just say this. Let me say this. You know, you guys have a real leg up, because you all talk to each other. You know, our brothers, what do they do? Because I'm the man. You know, I got it going on like that. We do some dumb things. We don't talk to each other. And I have to put it out there. Hey, being as young as I is, I can say what I want, and they can't be messing with the brother. The thing is, I've been here long enough to recognize and know that there are things that men, especially men of color, don't talk about. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that, guess what? We were never taught. Mothers took the time to tell the daughters and teach the daughters, but the guys went to play. And the reality is guess what? You've got to take time with your boys, with your growing young men, because if you don't, they'll end up being ignorant, like I was for a long time, till I ran into the brother with good hair over there on my left.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. P. Let us pray.
Right. Co-sign. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it. But that's absolutely correct. You know, when we have our men's programs, that's the reason why we had the men's program that started off first, because of the problems that men have going to the doctors. You know, I mean, we got every reason to you know, that's why this whole vaccine thing is not flying with us, because it sounds too much like Tuskegee. It sounds too much like the blankets, you know, the smallpox with the Indians with the blankets. It sounds too much like experimental. And, you know, we just have that phobia. We call it white coat syndrome, you know. So a lot of the things when it comes to health, we tend to pull away from. And that's where you got to stop doing that. You got to understand that, you know, that's just their science. That's not the science. Got it? When they're talking about, oh, you got to trust science. All right, well, what kind of science you talking about?
Right.
That's what the question is.
Right.
Because I may want to do science. I just don't want to do your science. You got it? And you got to understand there's more than one type of science. You know, we have the first science. And I'm just going to be real about that first. They took from our science before they made what they did.
Yes.
Because they couldn't even, you know, when they came into the ancient Kemet times over the great Nile Valley civilizations, they didn't have anything with a book called the Iliad. We already had 29 dynasties when they came in. They know how long a dynasty is? A dynasty can go from 50 to 1,000 years. We had 29 of them. So this is where the knowledge was. Everybody came to us for the knowledge. But that's where this whole thing got flipped. Made it seem like we don't know what we talking about. And that they got to have, we got to have science. We got to do, no, don't go with that. We have science. We have it. It's called African holistic health. Y'all got it?
Amen.
All right. So just understand that, you know, when you hear stuff like that, so a lot of the men, we know that you're pulling away because we got to drag them in by their ankles. You know, come on in here, get yourself right.
Right.
But what we want to do is we want you to understand it's because they're pulling away because it's the science that they've been introduced to, that's the only science. That's not the only science. You know, I mentioned to y'all when we first came on, the three worlds of science you're dealing with. You're dealing with allopathy, You're dealing with homeopathy. You're dealing with naturopathy. You know, you got to know who you're talking to and who's talking to you. You got it? So I don't want to just, you know, say that those are the things that we do. Reproductive factors. Come on in and we'll check you out, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Dr. Paul.
All right. Who else we got there, Bill? We got Patricia.
Yes.
Here I am.
Hey, Patricia.
All right. First of all, look at the spelling of my name. Do you see Patricia? And I'm not being.
That's Parthenia.
Parthenia.
I can't see it.
I'm Patricia.
That's Parthenia.
Who am I pulling up? Which
Dr.
one is,
Paul probably
which one is
can't
coming
see.
through?
No. Patricia Howell has her hand raised in the participants.
Yeah, I'm looking at Patricia Howell. I'm looking at Patricia Howell.
Yes. Good evening.
Yes.
I have two questions. One is about MSM. Is when you're taking it, are there any kinds of herbs that you should not be taking with it?
No, not really. MSM, remember what MSM is. It's sulfur.
Right.
You know, but remember, it's, you know, you got to make sure you're taking it. What are you taking it for? Make sure it's something that you know how to take it and when to take it for. It cleans out the cellular debris of the body. Okay. So that's why it's good for inflammation. It's good for arthritis. It's good for hair, skin, and nails, ladies. You know, it's also good for connective tissue. If you need to rebuild the cartilage in the leaves, things like that. That's what MSM is. Methyl sulfonamethane. Okay, so it is the active ingredient that's also in things like glucosamine. You may buy liquid glucosamine, and it may have also with MSM. Okay. So it's organic sulfur. And remember, it pushes in whatever you're taking, it's going to push it into the cells. So usually I tell folks to try to take that usually about 30 minutes after you take like a green drink, or if you want to get maximum energy, take about 30 minutes and you just take about a quarter teaspoon and about 8 ounces of water. And that really pushes it in. But you remember, I did have a disclaimer. You remember my disclaimer I said on the MSM? Anybody remember what the disclaimer was? Huh? Well,
real quiet again, glory.
Say it.
What?
Consumption.
Nobody want to say it, huh?
Of your alcohol consumption.
That is correct.
Oh, okay.
Cut down on that alcohol.
Okay.
Don't take it. Thank you. Who's that, Denise? Thank you. Because if you drinking and you are usually a 3 to 4 minimum, you're gonna be under the floor in 1.
Well.
Okay.
And y'all know it's coming up. Y'all know it's New Year's coming. So y'all y'all try to be all polite. I ain't answering that question. I ain't answering that one. I hear y'all.
Okay, so
all right, let's see.
My next question.
All right, you got that, Patricia?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So my next question is, I have a problem with diabetes, so the inflammation is there, I guess. But I've lived in places where there have been mold problems, and I'm at the point now where I have I'm out of that now, but I have wheezing that I can't seem to get rid of.
Did you say wheezing? You said what kind of problem were you in? You were coming out of?
Situation
I've
with a lot of
lived in
mold.
places where there was mold problems.
Yes.
And so it affected my lungs, I guess. And now I'm wheezing, and I'm not having any discomfort, but I'm just still wheezing. Right. So I was taking the Podiarco tea. But last time I ordered it, they gave me the powder. So I'm wondering, how do I use the powder?
Okay, I would. That's good. Podiarco is good, but I have something better for you. Okay. See, when you're talking about the lungs, and especially if you were exposed to mold, okay, that means fungus.
Right.
Okay. So that scraggly, so you might have been taking things like golden seal root, things like that, which is natural antibiotic.
Right.
You got to watch out for things like fungus. So the fungus can be a problem. It's probably more of a fungus than anything.
Okay.
So that would be oregano oil.
Okay.
Oregano oil. Now, hold on for a second. I think I got that too. Hold up.
Brother Bill.
All right. We got the oregano oil. Y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Anybody know that's the one we use right there? Let me pull it out of there so you can see it. Can y'all see that?
Yes, sir.
I think the light's in the way.
Just a
See
tad.
it?
Yeah, there you go, right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oregano oil. Now,
right there.
there is 2 variations of the oregano oil. This is by the same company that has the Purely C, vitamin C, and that's called the North American Herb and Spice. They have 2 variations of the oregano oil. One is regular, and then there's one that's called Super Strength. This is the Super Strength. Got it? This is how I would approach that. I would approach that where you would just use 1 to 2 drops under the tongue and chase it with water. That's all you do.
Okay.
You got it? That's not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent disease, just food for the soul, family. But that is usually what's happening with a lot of people when they have that scraggly cough or that, that tingling in their throat. Okay? Sometimes that little rattle. You remember what old folks used to call that rattle, right? What they used to call it?
Death rattle.
Death rattle.
They used to call it the death rattle. You know what they call it, the death rattle, right?
Yes.
Because, I remember my grandma, she used to go, grandmom and them, they used to be on the phone talking. They said, did you go see so-and-so? Yeah, I went to her. Did you hear it? Yeah, I heard it. She ain't got much longer now.
Wow.
That's how folks down south used to determine if you was out of here or not.
Yes.
They would say, did you hear the rattle?
Well.
Yeah, I heard it. You got it? So it's not a thing that shows that you're gonna die. It just means that mucus is rising.
Yes.
Got it?
Wow.
Mucus meaning that the body is the lungs are filling up with mucus because it's too much acid.
Yes.
And usually it's probably some form of bacteria or fungus that's rising. So that's why the oregano works to knock that out. That's what the pneumonia is. Pneumonia, or it could be a parasite too. It can be parasitic also. So sometimes it can be parasitic, it could be bacterial or fungal. So that's what this deals with, all 3. Got it?
Okay.
So that means this is good for pneumonia. It's good for also the sea buckthorn is also good for that too. Okay. So I would use a combination probably of these 2 right here. You got it? The sea buckthorn and the oregano Super Strength. Okay. Usually that'll knock out that scraggliness in the throat so that they don't be pulling up on you saying, you ain't got much longer left.
we got a young man trying to get a question through. He's on Galaxy A20. I don't know what his name is, but it's just that.
All right. See how people misinform people?
Yeah, so
all
true.
right. Who we got next?
Mark Kinsey, Dr. Paul. How's everyone doing?
All right, man. How you doing? How you bump the line with everybody else in line?
I had to put a brother up there because we ain't said jack.
All right, we got the brother
I'm disabled.
Oh, okay. Oh, we know. Okay. And since
What's up, Mark?
our time is winding down, I just wanted to make sure he got in.
Okay. Go ahead, Mark.
With that oregano oil, what I do, because there's a harsh taste to it. What I do is take a couple drops of the what's the sugar? Not the sugar, but come on, Kenzie. Sweet leaf. The liquid sweet leaf. I take a couple drops of that, and it will kill the harsh taste. Yeah, it will kill the harsh taste of oregano oil. Take a couple of drops of sweet leaf, and it'll calm down.
Yeah, that's really good. That's a real good one. You know, also, that's a good one, Mark. Thank you, man. But you know what? I want to also introduce you all to something else that you can get, and that is oregano honey. Ooh.
Oh,
I have some of that, Dr. Paul.
Oregano honey.
All right.
I have some of that.
This is an excellent combination.
Stop
and
moving
it's
it
from
back
the
and
same
forth.
company. It's from the same company. I'll put it right there for you can see it. You see it?
Yes.
I see it.
Okay, so this oregano honey is excellent from the same company. So you can take a little bit of the oregano honey along with dropping a little bit of the oregano oil, a little bit of the sea buckthorn, put it right on a tablespoon, put it right on down. That'll knock it right on out. How about that?
Especially for taste. Yep. That's how I get along with it.
Man, let me tell you, we got so many weapons that ain't even funny. So that's why I'm saying, y'all, it's more to build the immune system than just taking a shot. Okay? Build your immune system. You know, be smart about it. Take care of yourself.
Yes.
God gave you a temple so that you can actually do this thing and do it right. All right?
There we are.
All right. Hey, Bill, you gave me the number. It's time to go.
Yes,
it's
sir.
8:30.
Yes, sir.
Are you kidding me?
I kid you
It
not.
is 8:30, y'all. I'll take one more question. I'm going to take one more question. And Bill, you're going to sign us out today, right?
Yes, I will.
All right. I'm going to take one more question. Yes.
Can you speak on the water in the plastic bottle? Crystal geysers in a plastic bottle, and somebody commented to me that wasn't good. Can you just speak on that for a minute?
Okay. Well, I'll talk about what's going on. See, anything that's in the plastic, we do have a plastic problem. Okay. And remember, a lot of people don't know that on the Crystal Geyser bottle, whenever you send it out, if you have a bottle right now, I want you to hold it up to the light. Anybody got a Crystal Geyser bottle? Let me see if I got one around here.
Right here, Dr. Paul.
You got one? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hold it up to the light, and you're going to see a date on there. Okay? You're going to see a date. You see a date on there right around the top part, Audrey, right around the top part. You see it? There it is. I see it right there. That's right. I'm looking at it right there. You don't see it. I see it from here. You don't see it. Girl, we got a herb for you.
You got eagle.
He got eagle eyes, man.
You got eagle eyes.
Oh, I see it. It's just
Sell by 1022.
All right. So what did it say? It said 1022.
Yeah.
Now wait a minute. Are you saying
There's
that
a
the
date?
water expires in 1022? No, not the water expires. The bottle expires.
Bottle expires.
Okay.
Remember,
Sell by.
Right, the bottle. That's a sell by time frame. Remember, we do have a plastic problem, but remember, the plastic is only for transportation only. That's why they do not ship it in cold weather or heat. Long as it's in room temperature, it will not leach. So don't freeze the bottles. Don't leave them in your car. Got it? Now, that is why we say, if you're going to do plastic, you can take that, transfer it into somewhere. But that is the quickest way to get it from one location to the other without having it leaching, long as you don't break that date. You got it?
Okay.
That's the key. That's the key. make sure you tell people, yeah, we got a plastic problem. But the point is, what don't you have around you that's plastic? Think about it.
Right.
I had this woman we got on this big conversation, and this woman was telling me, I don't use no plastic. I said, you can't get, this thing is bigger than all of us.
I know that's right.
I said, she's complaining and she's writing me these letters on it. I said, even the very keyboard you type in your mad message on is made out of plastic. I said, so you telling me you don't use plastic? You using plastic right now.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
So what I'm telling you is, yes, we do have a plastic problem. Long as you don't break that date. A lot of people don't know that date's there. Plastic has a rate of tearing down. If you look underneath any form of plastic, there's a triangle. The triangle represents inside of that number. A number 7 is the only reusable rate one. Okay? The 7 is the only one. In most bottles, like water bottles, it's a 1.
It's a 1.
You want to make sure for the reusable rate of plastic, it is a 7. And you're not going to see it with any of those bottles. That would be like the water cooler, like the water cooler that you would get like in at the office buildings, that blue tent.
Oh yeah, the hard
blue
one.
tent.
The hard one.
That is a 7. That's a 7. Okay. That's a rate of 7. So that's the only reusable rate. And you can go to Whole Foods and get those little plastic bottles for, like, if you want one, you can get that. Or you can transfer it into steel, glass, or if you got a little change, copper.
I was going to ask about copper.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't let people discourage you because they try to get into this whole like waving the flag about plastic. We all got a plastic problem.
Yes.
Do you know that there's a plastic vortex? You everybody know what a vortex is, right? A vortex of plastic that's out in the Pacific that's about the size of
the entire state.
Texas.
Yes.
It's bigger than the size of Texas.
Yes.
And that's because of the rate of plastic. That's why people aren't tripping about you recycling anymore, because China will not buy any more of our recycling plastic.
Yes.
They won't buy any more because they say we're too dirty. We're too dirty.
How about that? Okay. How about that, guys? How about that?
We're too dirty. We don't do stuff right. Wow.
Wow.
Pot calling kettle black. Woo.
So I know that's right. I know that's right.
All right. So hopefully that helps you. And also remember, you can't beat God at his own game. The water is the absolute best water because it comes from the sources where there is no industry around it. And then when it's bottled at the source, it's coming right out the earth, deep in the earth. So you can't beat that. You cannot beat that. They've tried to beat it, but they cannot beat it. That's why you got all these people trying to send out these articles about Crystal Geyser and all this other stuff. No, you can't beat it because it is God's water, and people will do anything in the world to get you away from God's water. So be very careful.
Yes.
Okay. All right, family. This is the family tree, and we gotta close it down.
Gotta get out of Dodge, yo.
I want to thank everyone. Bill,
all right, now go ahead.
Out, and then I got something to say at the end. Okay?
Hey, Dr. Paul, Kenzie's over there humming. I hear you over there, Kenzie. Look at, I can't take it. He's trying to smooth us out of here. Hey, everybody. As always, just want to remind you that this program is just for you, the family, to continue to give you the wisdom and knowledge and the understanding to make sure that, guess what, the family stays whole. And of course, we never require you to do anything to help us out here. But the fact of the matter is, hey, listen, we got to get this out. So as always, make sure you send, share something with us to help us continue to do this. You can do it to Dr. Paul's Cash App. That's $ capital DR, capital HOP. Okay. Dr. Paul Hop. All right. And make sure, guess what? Make sure he gets it so that we can keep this stuff coming at us. All right. And
Yes,
coming at
sir.
you, because that's what it's all about, to keep the family healthy. Straight head, straight head, straight head. Thank you, Dr. P, for being the man.
All right. Well, thank you, family. I appreciate y'all. But listen, I want to say to everyone in the family, thank you for sitting in. For those that are just listening about, and I hope this has been a blessing to you throughout the year. We started this year, but also we want to thank you, Bill. And I think I can speak for you, Bill.
Yes.
We want to thank you for your support with what we do, not only just with the family tree, but also WURD and the Dr. Paul Holistic Health Show, but also the Green Hour and all the things that those that come in, it helps us also to stay on point and stay sharp. So we thank you so much for your participation. Thank you for inviting your family through. I want you to come on now.
Oh, you up?
Come on, somebody mute up.
Somebody mute up.
Little furry one.
Mute up.
Mute.
Okay, somebody got to mute up. All right. Or do I have to mute everybody?
Yeah, mute everybody, Dr. P.
All right.
Disappear.
All right. So as I was saying, I want everyone to have a wonderful new year. Bring the new year in the right way. Stay positive. We still have a conjunction that's going on.
Yes,
And that conjunction function.
Yes.
What's conjunction? What's your function?
Wow.
It's happening and still staying in alignment. So as we talked about last week, ask for what you want.
Yes.
You'll notice that the things that you ask for are going to come through, but you got to stay on point. All right. So I want everyone have good intentions, be a blessing to somebody, stay safe, continue to do the things we do for COVID-19. And most importantly, I want y'all to pray for each other. How about that?
Yes.
Y'all
Amen.
pray for
Amen.
me, I'm going to pray for you.
That's
You
right.
got it?
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Amen. And I want to thank all those for coming through. And like I said, Bill said, we have a cash app that's available for those that want to donate. We really appreciate your donation because Bill has to take this and actually do the processing. We want to thank Bill this evening for coming through. Bill, we thank you, man. We know that it's been hard for you today. And if you did not chime in, Bill had a passing in his family. And with that, we want to honor you, Bill, by all the, the things that you do. But say, brother, if you need any support, you just, let us know. We always want to be there for you.
Yes, sir, my friend.
You and your family. All right.
Just keep us in
all
prayer.
right, family. God bless y'all. May God keep y'all. Is my prayer.
Happy New Year.
That's right. And remember, if you're breathing,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Have a prosperous one.
That's right, guys. That's it. That's
Many
what's up. That's
blessings
what's up.
for
That's
you
what's
and your
up.
family.
We're going to leave with a little samba tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say, give us some music. Hey.
Yeah, where is it?
Where that, Dr. P? Bring it on. Bring it on.
Right, where at?
Hey, he's on there dancing all by himself. I can't even take it.
Can y'all hear that?
No.
Where the music at,
I
brother?
wish y'all was here because y'all can't hear
that.
Oh, there we go. It's coming now.
You have to share your computer.
On done.
Y'all don't hear that?
He's trying to keep it to himself. Boy, I'm telling
with y'all ears.
Turn it up. Right?
Where you at, man? Bring it on. Bring it on.
Oh, well.
Boy, I'm telling you, some people's cheering. Just because
Zoom doesn't pick it up unless you share it. Zoom only picks it up if you share it on Zoom.
Okay. There you go. There you go.
Okay, that's better.
Hey. All right, guys. Dr. Paul is taking the challenge tonight. Hey, he's doing, look, dancing to himself. Oh, okay, I got you.
All right.
Yeah. Hey.
There you go.
All right, y'all. Can y'all hear it now?
Yeah.
Certainly.
Happy New Year, everybody.
All right,
Happy
take
New
care.
Year, y'all. Have a great one.
Bless.
And we shall
Happy
see you
New
next year, all
Year.
right?
See you next year.
Yes,
Next
sir.
year, I would say bring somebody, all right? Bring somebody.
Okay.
Bring somebody. Tell them
2021.
about
Yes,
the
sir.
family tree. God bless y'all. May
That's
God
right.
keep y'all is my prayer. And if you're breathing,
You
You
got a
got a
shot.
chance.
got a
Bless
shot.
everybody.
Hey,
Got a
all right.
Bye.
Happy
All right,
New
all right,
Year.
all right. That's what's up.
Goodbye.
That's what's up.
Bye.
Get off my phone. Get off my phone.
All right.
I heard
We'll see
Ken say,
y'all.
get off his phone. Get off my
Get off
phone.
my
I heard
phone.
that.
Get off my phone.
What's up, Aaron?
I got to
Jaron?
go.
Jaron?
Hey, Jaron. What's up, Jaron? Yo,
Hey, what's up, Mr. Mark?
Look at your hair, Jaron. Look at
Hey,
mine.
that's right. Hey, Jaron.
What's
And
going on,
I'm
big
over
guy?
here waiting. I'm waiting on my hair transplant over here, Jaron. Come on, please.
You need
That boy
some?
need a pick bad, don't he?
Brother
Glory.
Bill, you
Jared
want
and
to borrow
Mark can
some?
help you out, Bill.
Yeah,
Brother Bill, you
I'm
want to
pleased
borrow
that.
some? You want to borrow some?
Yeah, Mark, me and Mr. Mark going
Jaron
all
got a lot.
natural.
He don't mind supplying.
Oh boy, oh boy.
All right,
All
y'all
right,
take
guys.
it easy.
Take
God
care.
bless
See you.
y'all.
God
Peace
bless.
out,
Bye
Bless
bye.
you.
Have
Bye
a
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Bye
wonderful
bye.
2021.
Can't
Bringing it
hang up.
right,
I
right?
know that's right. Yes,
Can't hang
sir.
up.
Yes,
Be
sir.
safe and
Can't
healthy.
hang
That's
up.
what
Bye
it's all
bye.
about. Yes, sir.